You're looking live at Generation Cowboys of Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, got my co-host, Cowboy Joe, and this is episode 12. Today we're gonna talk about the defense as promised, and so we got a few things that we're gonna see if we can delve into this defense and figure out what's going on and why we looked abysmal this past weekend. So, you want to do your thing?
Yeah, so welcome to our episode 12. As DJ I tell you what said, we're going to talk about the defense and just take one last look at what happened on Sunday. Then we're going to start looking at the Baltimore Ravens. They coming in with the must-need win, and you're going to have two teams just kind of trying to see if they can figure out how to get out the snide and get back on a winning streak. So, but let's look at our defense. So from Sunday, the very first thing we got to look at is when the game started, they had Demarion Overshawn standing on the sideline, which absolutely made no sense. What we're hearing coming from the coaches is that they felt like he was more like a nickel and dime player in this game, which made no sense because he pretty much played the whole game Sunday. He was in every defense we ran. So it's just one of the weirdest things you've ever seen. And when he got in the game, for the most part, it was around about the third quarter. He was really just out of it. You could just tell his body language wasn't there because, and he's a Texas guy. He's from here. I think he's from East Texas. So he probably had a lot of family and friends at the game. And so you bringing people to the game, and then you spend most of the first half just standing around watching people play. And we got to really look at Damone Clark and just talk about the elephant in the room. Which,
I don't mean to cut you off. Demarion Overshawn, he from Tyler.
Yeah, that's
So
that's right down. Yeah,
he might as well be from here.
so he had all kind of fam at the game. So for them to go down that road, it was just really disappointing, and that's poor coaching when coaches do that. Just come out the left field and do a just a dumbfounding move like that. It just really, you kind of lose confidence, and really disappointed with them in that. But all of these coaches, they have this one game a year where you just say to yourself, man, what is going on? And then the rest of the year you don't see that kind of tomfoolery. So hopefully that's what's happening here.
Yeah, and he did also he made some I was listening to Zim. He made a lot of comments about that because of course that was one of the main things that was on everybody's mind. I mean, Twitter was blowing up during the game on why is Demarion Overshawn not in the game now. We did say he wasn't even able to get in his bag the first game. He only called 3 packages, but and I guess Demarion Overshawn was in those 3 packages, but it's just still excusable for you to have talking about. Like I said, this is going to be a reoccurring thing that I'm going to be talking about during the year. It seems to be because we're always talking about packages. We got this package for this and we got this package for that, and and they talking about packages like that's supposed to mean something, and it doesn't. It just only team that talk about packages is the Cowboys, and the Cowboys haven't had championships and hasn't been able to stop the run in 25 years, and it's because they got packages. So it doesn't really matter who's in what package. The bottom line is, like Jimmy Johnson would say, you get drafted, you play. Forget all this package stuff. It ain't no package. He should be playing. He was a standout player in the first game. There is no excuse and no package for you to be for him to only get 18 snaps and play 32% of the game when you're getting gashed. And he did exactly what we needed him to do. He came in the game, he looked a step slower, but everybody looked a step slower. And if you're getting gashed and these packages that you run it ain't working, then why do you have to stay in the same package? And another thing, what package do we have where Damone Clark stays on the field in this package? What package do we have? Why do we have packages that Damone Clark is dominating the snaps? I don't understand that. So
It shouldn't be any. And so Damone Clark, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. So here's the thing with Damone Clark. One of the things that we're gonna do we don't want to just throw anybody under the bus on our show, but we're gonna
I'm
keep it
throwing him under
real.
the bus. Yeah,
Hmm?
I'm throwing him under the bus. He needs
Okay.
that. Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is what you've been seeing from this player from the moment that he got here. So first of all, let's just go back. So he has the same type of injury that LVE had when he got drafted. It's a spinal neck injury, and that's why he fell in the draft from LSU. And when you
Mhm,
just watch him play, you can tell that for the most part, he's playing to protect himself. And anybody would if you had that kind of injury. So
mhm,
he's never been a player that plays downhill. He doesn't play behind the line of scrimmage. He's what I call a chase, catch, and grab tackler. He will run you down. He'll catch you. He'll grab you by the jersey and push you out of bounds. If you're coming straight at him, he's not going to take you on. He's
mhm,
going to figure out a way to get on your side or kind of get at an angle so that he can grab you
mhm,
and tackle you. And that's what he's done the entire time that he's been here. And we've had a lot of people that watch the team and they'll say, well, he's not diagnosing plays or he wore the green dot at times last year. They would say, well, he's not really reacting well because he's confused on what he's doing. When you watch him play, he knows what he's doing. He gets to the right spot. He just doesn't make the tackling. In the first two plays of this game that we
mhm.
had on Sunday, the play was diagnosed. He ran right through the line of scrimmage, and the runner was coming downhill right at him, and both times he whiffed. He did it two consecutive plays.
He did. So, like to piggyback on what you were saying, he'll get there. He'll get to the play, but he's not. And also, to me, it's just like I think you call him a weak side linebacker. To me, it's like he fits the mold of the type of linebacker that Dan Quinn had last year that did not work. It never did. It was the guy that's just really a corner or a safety, but he got him playing linebacker like he looked like Ray Lewis when he don't. So there's a staunch difference between Damone Clark's build, Marion Overshown's build, Michael Parsons' build, Maurice Lewis build, and Kendrick's build. They all look like linebackers. Demarion Overshown, he looks like a safety or a corner. So he doesn't even have the build to come down and make tackles. He doesn't want to tackle. He's not physical. He's the kind of he's like on the offense we call it tipping. He been tipping.
Mm-hmm.
He gets there and he gets there, but when he gets there, the play doesn't stop. When he gets there and he holds the running back up, or he just brings the force.
He looks to grab him.
Yeah, he looks to grab him. And I used to when I used to play high school football, I was like 5'5". I wasn't big at all, but I did have a lot of speed and agility. So one thing I would do on every single play is I would get there. Now I'm not big enough to just hit somebody and knock the ball loose, but in high school that would work. I would get there just enough to make him stop in his tracks, and by the time I make him stop in his tracks, I get a hold of him. The rest of the team should corral, and we should stop the play right there. If it's not going to get more than 1 or 2 yards, but in the NFL, that doesn't work. You can't cut that. You can't do that. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to be one by yourself, make the play. That's what you have to do. You have to make the play. If you get there first, the play stops there. He doesn't do that, and I don't know why we're continuing to see him. So Zim, he
So
failed.
on Twitter after the game, there was a lot of people talking about Damone Clark. I watched Clarence Hill's new show, DLLS Sports. Shout out to them on their new channel.
Oh, I love
Clarence
that channel.
Hill Clarence Hill said 18 can't play. 18 can't play.
Mm-mm.
18 is Damone Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, this is 3 years into his playing time here. People are noticing it. It's better late than never. But what they have to do on Sunday defensively, your linebackers have to be Kendrick, Overshawn, and Leo Fowl. Those are your
Yeah.
linebackers. You
Yeah.
want to play Clark. If somebody gets banged up, he got to come in and play a couple of series. But the rest of the season, if you're really trying to win and you're trying to be a physical team, your linebackers are Kendrick, Leofow, and Overshawn. And if you see anything else, then we got to get into, what is going on with the coaching staff. We thought that Zim was going to be somebody that would come in and kind of really stabilize what they're doing defensively. And we're going to talk about the defensive tackles. They just got washed. I watched the Green Bay game. I
Mhm.
saw some highlights of the Green Bay game. This was early in preseason during training camp, and I was just stunned how our defensive tackles in the Green Bay game was just getting just blown off the line like 7, 8, 10 yards, getting washed. I hadn't seen that before. We saw the
Mhm.
same thing happen again on Sunday. I was just stunned to see that. They were literally getting blown off the ball. So our linebackers, you got to keep them clean when we got good linebackers on the field. So
Yeah, and so, that kinda made sense too when they were talking about that today. It was just like, if the linebackers don't have a clean lane to go through to come downhill, then how can they come downhill? I mean,
mhm.
it's almost like Michael was better off playing at the line, because it was not gonna be good him playing in the linebacker spot when your line when you de and so here we go again talking about the Cowboys. Your ownership are not football guys, but it translates down because if you have coaches that are not doing football things, then the owners don't jump on that. Like when I say that, I'll give you an example of like the playoff game against Green Bay. Any football guy or any football, if your ownership was a football guy, if Harry Roseman was on the was Harry Roseman was on the sideline last night in the Eagles game, by the way.
Hmm.
Um, so uh, yeah. So but I'm just saying, if your owner is a football guy, any football guy, shout out to my uncle Bobby, and he ran Oak Cliff Jets, ran Oak Cliff Titans for a lot of years. Now it's my cousin Rodney. Shout out to them. But my point in saying that is any football guy, you, me, we would have went down at halftime and told Dan Quinn, listen, let's say, fam, the defense that you running like a zone or something. Scratch that. We doing man the rest of it. Whatever you doing, stop it. We not
Well,
doing that. It ain't working.
so typically that would just come from the head coach if you're gonna do that. But yeah,
Sunday, somebody should have said, you know what, fam? Say, excuse me, number 18, get him out and put Overshawn in. That's just football sense.
yeah,
That's just hey man, it ain't working. And if Demarion Overshawn don't understand the package that he's in, oh
no,
well, it don't matter no way because we still
that
getting blew up off the
and
ball.
yeah, and that's not it. That's the other thing that we don't want to have people saying that something was going on with him. It was nothing going on with him. He was ready to play. And the other thing that we saw that was really disappointing, we thought we wouldn't be seeing this, and Zim has talked about it. He played Micah at edge for the most part for the whole game,
I
and
don't know
he
this
didn't
guy.
he didn't move, and
Mm,
he didn't play off ball linebacker. So
no.
New Orleans was able to just say, okay, Michael's right here. Let's attack him. Let's run at him. And so Zim, again, that's something that he said he was going to avoid. So I can guarantee you Sunday, you're not going to just see Michael at the edge because he's going to be needed to play out ball linebacker some to stop Lamar Jackson. If you just put Michael on the right end or the left edge, Lamar's just going to run the other way, and
Mm-hmm.
Michael will never get there. So we're probably going to see him play some off ball linebacker. He has to. So that was another thing. Zim, he just did a lot of things that were uncharacteristic of what he does, and he'll be the first to tell you he's probably got that one bad game. So if I had to just say, I'm still pretty confident that Zim is going to do the things that he needs to do to kind of get this thing back on track. We talked about offense last night. I'm losing confidence that McCarthy is going to make those quick adjustments. So but I think Zim, I'm still feeling that he's going to get the defense back on track. The
I want
defensive oh, go ahead.
I want everybody to keep your train of thought. I want everybody to look at this. If I'm not, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Is this Damon Clark that I got my hand? I got the thing on right here.
I can't really tell.
All right, y'all watch him. Yeah, let's everybody look at this. Now, this is what we're talking about. That is Damon Clark. Now, watch what he does. Did you
So
see
when
that?
running back. So when you run it, the screen is kind of dark. I don't know
Okay, let me see if I can
if
fix that.
everybody else can see that.
What about
And
this?
then
Okay, I
you,
lighted it up. So watch.
yeah.
So watch him. Watch him. It's still dark. He runs right in there. Now, any other
Hmm.
linebacker, that should have been a loss. That should have been a loss right
Are you
there.
able to get to the first two plays of the game
Yeah, I can.
on New Orleans? Try to. So while I'm talking,
Oh
go
my
to the
goodness.
first series that they have. And
This
just
is the
run
first
that.
series. Now go to
Well,
the
the
first
plays that
play.
I'm talking about, they were down on like their 20 when the game we kicked off and the game first started. It was their first two plays they ran from line of
These are
scrimmage.
these are the first two plays right here.
So so that was the first two.
This is it right here. This is the
Okay, there you
first
go.
one.
There you
Look
go.
at
There
Demar
you go.
Clark.
There you go.
Oh my good. Did you see? It's
Yeah. So that was the first one. Now, look at him. He patting the ground. Now watch the next one.
where is he? Uh,
So it was the first two plays is what I'm talking about.
that was the
And
first play. So
and it
I
might
think
have been just in the first series.
so. That was
But
Overshawn. So Overshawn got called in. So this is the play you're talking about. So that was the second play. This is the third play of the drive. So this is the play you have to be talking about.
no, it was a running play. But anyway, the plays that I'm talking about, he had two plays. The one you showed is exactly what he did. He ran in the backfield, and the running back just ran. So that's one right there. So he had
Mhm.
two plays just like that.
And he does that
He
consistent.
ran behind the line of scrimmage. The running back is in his sight, and he just whiffed. He
Hmm.
did. That's what he's done his whole career,
Hmm.
and that's what we saw out of LVE. He's LVE's
That,
protege. He learned the game under LVE, and LVE played the exact same way after he started getting banged up. LVE didn't want to press the line of scrimmage. If he could get to you, he wasn't going to really hit you hard because he was hurt. So, but anyway,
let's look at what happened on this play.
that's a passing play.
Yeah.
So that's that long pass, yeah. But the
Mhm.
bottom line is the defense had a really bad game. The
Mhm.
defensive tackles, there are some people talking about, maybe Phillips. He's somebody that you're just going to wake up and he's going to be cut. Uh,
Mhm.
so it's some of these guys, they are literally going to be day to day with the way they played last week. It wouldn't surprise me. But one of the problems they're going to have is they don't. Who are you going to replace them with? 'Cause-
And that's perfect segue into what I was going to say next. Now you have your all in ownership, right? And you all went the whole off season and you didn't address defensive tackle with high price free agents. You didn't address running back with the affordable free agents that were there. You did not trade for any receivers. You didn't trade
Mhm.
for any running backs. You didn't do anything to help Dak out. You didn't do any of that. And you said that the reason why you did that was because you believe in your guys. Now it's week 2 and we don't have a running game. We only have one receiver and our defensive line is getting pushed off the ball. So this should not be a surprise to anybody. And this is what happens when you have ownership that neglects the team.
Well, but just go back to the first game. Okay, just go back to Cleveland. Okay, in the Cleveland game, you had Overshawn playing. You had Wanye on the field. You had Izzy playing. So I don't know what happened in 1 week to where you just totally changed your personnel. We didn't see Wanye Sunday. We didn't see Izzy Sunday. And Bell. Bell was very good against Cleveland. I don't even think Bell played any snap Sunday. I didn't see him.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, what happened in 1 week where you just totally changed your personnel and the way you playing defense? And everybody that we're talking about, Bell, Wanye, Overshawn, these are the guys that play with physicality. They play with emotion. They bring intensity to the game. You took all of the intensity out of your lineup. And
Mhm.
what you did also, by the way, by you not having those other guys playing, you overextended Donovan Wilson. So you
Mhm.
had Donovan Wilson really doing some things that he's really not good with because why? You didn't have Wanye back there. So when you go to that two deep, you're better personnel wise to have Wanye playing some of those snaps. Now I'm thinking what they're gonna probably do is rotate them throughout the year, but they didn't do any rotation on Sunday. Wanye didn't look and see if you can find out how many snaps Wanye played and Izzy.
Okay.
I don't think they really played much. I know Bell didn't.
Now, this is what I would say, Cowboy Nation. I would say this. This is why I'm not concerned about the defense. Now, we know what the answer is on defense. We know that Mike Zimmer is a guru. He's one of the best to ever do it as far as defensive coordinators go. So we have faith in him. We can give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to say that he's going to fix this. It would not surprise me if this weekend when we play Baltimore that you see a lot of these things fixed. It would not surprise me not one bit. It would not surprise me one bit if he came in and he changes a lot of this. Now, one thing that he's not going to be able to change is personnel as far as like defensive tackles. The defensive tackles we have is the defensive tackles we have. Ain't no changing that unless you can
Well,
trade
and
for
they
somebody.
and they know that they got to play better, or they're just gonna get released. They
Correct.
know that. They know that.
Right. So I'm not, the defense, we gonna have to wait and see how this thing turns out with the defense. Now, with the offense, I'm scared because we don't have an answer. The answer was draft the running back, which you could have got Braylon Allen or anybody else with that stupid 4th round pick that you gave for the 49ers for Trey Lance. We could talk about that another day. But you had a whole bunch of running backs that got drafted after that 4th round pick for that you gave for Trey Lance, who is a $25 million hit on your cap this year. Not to mention, that's $25 million that can go to any other player in the league that can address the needs that we have, which they don't do. That 25 million would have just been sitting there. But let's be clear that the offense, there is no answer. The answer is you have to have a second receiver, and you have to have an elite running back or a running back that is at least dynamic, and you
Well,
don't have that.
I'm gonna give you some solutions on both sides of the ball that you can immediately do that will help. So on the defensive side of the ball, you just need to get Overshawn on the field, and you need to get Wanye and Izzy on the field, and you're gonna improve things right there. And then just your defensive tackles, whatever adjustments you're gonna make, you're gonna be good there. On the offensive side of the ball, what I'm doing is my running back going forward. Rico is my every down back. Zeke, as we mentioned on one of our earlier shows, he's a short yardage goal line and your third down back. And then, of course, Zeke can come in and give you some carries here and there. But those are your backs. Just go with those guys. And then on the receiver end, we talked about Brooks last night. Brooks needs to be inactive. So your receivers, you're going to get better at receiver just by CD, Cooks, Tolbert, and then Flournoy. Flournoy is the wild card. He needs to be active. He needs to play. You can get better play out of your receivers. And I believe that Zeke and Rico, once you just give them the assignment, they're going to do decent. And Cooks, we don't even know what's happening. Jerry Jones on his show today, he didn't really have a lot to say about Cooks. So Cooks could be one of those guys that, look, we play the Giants in a couple of weeks. We could see Cooks against the Giants. We could also see Cooks get released next week. That's just, it is what it is. And then from the tight end standpoint, we saw Schoon. He was as average can be. The way you can really get your tight end group upgraded is just to get your guys healthy. If you can get Ferguson healthy, get John Stevens healthy, you're going to see your offensive play options. They're going to improve. So I do think we can do some things that are going to make us better. We just got to get guys healthy. We got to put the guys on the field that need to be on the field and stop playing all of these games that they're playing. And some of the guys like Clark, Brooks, some of these guys, they just need to be out of the lineup. And Schoon, he just doesn't need to be a part of your passing game.
Clark would never do that. You see what Overshawn just did? Clark would never do that.
I missed it.
I think it's the next play, but I'll check it out.
If you're running sideways, Clark will run you down, and he'll
That,
guide you to wherever you want to go. He's not gonna tackle you.
that's Overshawn. Clark would never do that.
No.
Now,
Mm-mm.
now Zim said, and because I think somebody tried to, I don't know if it was Clarence Hill. I think it was Clarence Hill. Clarence Hill asked him, you know, about no, it wasn't Clarence Hill. I don't know who it was. Somebody asked him about Overshawn playing, about Overshawn spying Lamar Jackson because Overshawn did so good spying Deshaun Watson,
He
and
said he would use Micah.
I think Zim was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think Zim was like, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because Zim
Yeah.
said, I don't know. We'll see. We might have to use Micah because he's pretty fast and he's pretty
Yeah.
fast. So I think
He trying not to give away his game plan, but
right.
he's gonna have to use both.
Yeah, he gonna have to use both. That's what we're gonna say. He gonna have to use both, and that's how you address that. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
because
use both.
this is a game, by the way. Lamar is not gonna drop back and throw the ball like Derek Carr did. So
Nah.
you don't even really need Michael playing edge. Michael has to be in the middle of the field so he can just diagnose and get to the play. So man, I will be puzzled if we see Michael playing edge a lot in this upcoming game.
Well, I mean, just check. Well, how about this? Well, check it out. Well, if you got Overshawn spying Lamar Jackson, then you have Micah rushing the quarterback. That's not a bad look because Micah is the best pass rusher that you have. So if he rushes the passer and then you have Overshawn spying Lamar Jackson, then that's a scenario that I do expect to see because you have Micah is the best pass rusher on your team. Now, I wouldn't say that you should be doing that every single down, but
Hmm.
I do expect scenarios to be where Micah's rushing the passer,
Yeah.
and especially knowing that the Ravens' right side of their offensive line is trash. That's gonna be happening. So where the Marcus Lawrence is coming from, Micah
Yeah.
gonna be over there with
So
with Demarcus Lawrence because those two, that left that guard and that tackle, they are like two of the worst in the league according to Blogging the Boys and according to a couple more
well,
articles I
the
read.
the Saints had two backup people playing on their line too,
Mhm.
and we didn't play. I was gonna tell you too that I don't think Nealon and Tank were good in this game either.
Nah,
Nealon, there was some talk about him being banged up. He looked
mhm.
like it on Sunday. He didn't really have anything. He was
Nah, he
just
didn't.
getting washed. He didn't have a lot of effort. So they had talked about him being banged up, and it showed. You can just tell now. Tank just had an off game. Look, I'm really I will be shocked if Zimmer and our defense don't come back and play great this Sunday. I'll be stunned.
Me too. That's
Um,
why I'm saying I'm not really concerned about defense. And then you know how the narrative go.
if they play the right people. Now, if you come out here Sunday, you got Clark out there.
Oh, we in
There's
trouble.
no Bell. There's no Wanye. You know, we looking at the coaches just being on just we can't see that. Now offensively that we mentioned last night, I'm really concerned about this running game, the run scheme. I think that McCarthy, I think his plays are just outdated. We're about to find out. So, but he started the game with Turpin and Deuce against a very physical team. That was just a bonehead move. But Zeke, I believe Zeke and Rico, they can do a good enough for us to win some games if you use them right. Because Rico runs hard. Now Clarence Hill on his show, he said Rico was tapping out uh, during the
Hmm.
game. I don't know what that was all about. I don't think we've seen that before.
Well, he
But
was. He was tapping out. He was
so
running a play or two, and then tapping to come on in, tapping for somebody else
so
to come in.
now we know he gets banged up a lot. So I don't know what's happening
Okay.
there. But when he's healthy, he runs hard. He has a burst. And I thought I thought Rico and Zeke in the Cleveland game, they were okay. They were not bad. They were not great. But we didn't see that Sunday because the game starts and they're not even on the field.
Jesse Holly and Clarence Hill made a great point. Even if you do have those our running back by committee, it doesn't work because running backs like to get into a groove. They
Yeah.
like to feel how this, running back like to come back to the same lane. They like to come back to the same. They know it's a specific player that they got the beat on. They want to go right at that. They know this. So running
Yeah.
back by committee doesn't work. And then when you running them, if you using Deuce, and everybody
Mhm.
knows that his strength is to get him out in the open, it doesn't make sense to run him on a 22 dive like
Mhm.
1995
Mhm.
right up the middle. It just doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
I don't care. You made a good point yesterday when you were saying that the 49ers scheme their running backs open just like they put McCaffrey on IR. They're not going to miss a beat in the running game because their
Mhm.
backup, he's going to look just like how he looked the other day. He's going to be running and he's going to be getting a lot of yards. And if
Hey,
you was to
what's the Saints running back, starting running back? What's his name? He played on
Alvin Kamara,
Sunday. Kamara, the last couple of years, he hasn't looked good at all. Now all of a
mm-mm.
sudden they get in this Kubek offense. He just running free as can be. So I do think the scheme is part of the problem. So we're gonna just watch it play out. Now my thought process on this running backs getting into a groove. When you just using two backs, they can get into a groove. You know, when you running guys in and out. But if you're just using those two, I think they can figure out a way to kind of get a groove and get a rhythm with the game.
It's no logical explanation on why they started the game off with Deuce
Yeah.
and Turpin
Well,
and then running them in the middle. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
McCarthy is just not using his personnel wisely. He doesn't get the ball to Turpin down the field. Turpin should be running down the field against linebackers, against your third and fourth corners. That's his strength. Get him downfield, get him moving in space. And he doesn't do that. He hasn't done it. We saw Turpin catch a pass against the 49ers last year in that game. We lost up there. Just a great play. He had him running a flag route. Great catch. Great throw. We saw Turpin. He caught a touchdown against the
Washington
command
on
on
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Just a post. That's what he should be running.
I
And
mean,
he just doesn't. So McCarthy, Turpin, Deuce, and Hanalupke, McCarthy just cannot figure out how to best use those players. And I'm pretty much just giving up on it. You didn't see Lupke again Sunday. He for whatever reason, he cannot figure out a way to use Lukey. I'm moving on from it. It's not even worth talking about.
Luki is a baller.
But McCarthy ain't figured that out. So
He can catch and he can run. He got both. And
he
then
not
you
using
know
them.
what just makes me so mad when you just think about the plays that Turpin ran last week. Every single one was a sideways play, start and
Hmm.
stop and turn and running them
Running
out the
toward the
back.
side,
It's just
running
like
toward the
it's just
sideline.
that is so frustrating. And then not only was that crazy, but to have him running those crazy plays, getting banged up, and then not having him returning kicks when we have this new kickoff rule in effect, and he is a Pro Bowl
Yeah,
returner. So
yeah.
it's just like the NFL the NFL didn't want a lot of the fans, they didn't want this new rule in effect because of Turpin. They were just like, we don't. That's gonna be like just handing the Cowboys gonna score on special teams every time with Turpin, and we haven't even. It's just like it's just mind boggling for them to be doing that. It's just like, how
But
is that possible?
but I always say it's a conflict with the front office with Jerry and Steven. They get a lot of criticism for running the team and being involved with the game plan. And some, way back in the day, like we talked about the other night, back in the day, there were people that were saying, Jerry's calling plays. To their credit, they don't get involved with the game plan. They don't really tell the coaches who to play. What you saw Sunday, That wasn't Jerry and Steven putting Wanye on the kickoff return. That was Bones. What you saw with Turpin and Deuce, Jerry and Steven didn't put that game plan in. That was McCarthy. So, coaching matters, and they let their coaches coach. So this was just a really, really bad coaching game that we saw on Sunday. And so this past Sunday. So this Sunday, they better be in their bag and do some of their best coaching, because this team coming in and we gonna play. Look, their season is on the line. So
I can tell
Harbaugh, what he's
everything.
gonna do, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come in, he's gonna go for it on fourth down, pretty much every chance he gets.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look for special teams, fake punts,
Mm-hmm.
fake whatever. He's gonna do everything he can to win this game, and your team has to be ready, and you got to have the right guys on the field. You cannot have Brooks on the field in this game.
Him, his brother, and his daddy, they are football guys. So when he come up in here, he gonna say number 18 every time he on the field. We want to run right by him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they gonna say. They are football guys. They gonna say they can't stop the run. They want to put Micah on edge every time. Every time they do that, we run in the opposite way.
Yeah,
So they are football guys. They gonna say they putting Wanye Thomas in the back there. We want to kick it to him every time because he's the one that's gonna fumble. So so so
yeah.
so 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 th- so the Joneses and Mike McCarthy, they got their work put up for them. And the Joneses, it's the blame game. Everybody, McCarthy
Mm.
is a master at the blame game. He will just let the team implode as long as he's not the one that get the blame. He did it with
He
Kellen Moore. He did
he's
it with
gonna get
Dan.
the, but he's gonna get the blame. If you heard Jerry this morning, okay,
Oh, I
on his
did.
show,
Mhm.
Jerry ain't he is in a really jacked up mood. I'm telling you right now, Jerry Jones will take the first opportunity to fire McCarthy. If this team starts out 3-5 or 4-4, Jerry will make a move. It's not going to be a whole lot, to it. If they start out 3-5 or somewhere along the way, they're like 4-6. Jerry, first of all, I said it on our show the other night. Jerry's not going to bring McCarthy back. I don't believe either way. I just think he's not. I think he doesn't think that McCarthy is that great. He's not going to, and McCarthy is going to want to get paid after this season. McCarthy's going to come to Jerry and say, we went 12-5, 11-6, whatever the case may be. I want to be paid as one of the top 10 coaches in the league. Jerry is going to say El Paso. That's going to be it. It's a wrap.
It's
So
over.
if he gets behind the eight ball, McCarthy, and we start losing games, Jerry ain't in the mood for none of this. Now, is he going to have an answer and hire the right person? Probably
He
not.
shows.
But what I do know, Jerry is not a fan of McCarthy.
No, he don't like McCarthy.
Mm-mm.
He
No.
wanted him gone last year.
So McCarthy is not Jason Garrett. He's not going to get to sit around here for
No,
10 years and just do
McCarthy is
whatever.
Steven. McCarthy is Steven's homeboy.
Yeah. So this is what McCarthy is up against, and McCarthy still comes across to me as, I don't think he gets it in terms of the innovation and what he needs to do. He still doesn't understand the rivalry games. When we play the 49ers, when we play the Packers, the
Play the
Saints,
Saints.
the Saints have 100,000 fans here, and he doesn't understand. When we play the Saints at AT&T, it's basically a split stadium.
If you was to ask McCarthy, what, what is the significant? Why are there a lot of Saints fans in Dallas and in Houston? He
He
would
don't
not
know.
know the answer.
No, and that
He wouldn't know the answer.
no. So the 49ers, that rivalry, that's a number one rivalry to me. Okay.
Mhm.
He didn't really have his team ready to play the 49ers the first time. He didn't get it.
Mhm.
The Green Bay Packers, that's always been a rivalry with us.
Mhm.
He was on the other side of the sideline through that, and then the Saints. He don't know what hit him Sunday. He don't understand what a big deal the Dallas Cowboys and the Saints games are.
He
And when they
doesn't.
play in New Orleans, it's a big game.
And I think we might see them again, and that's going to be a big game.
Yeah, so McCarthy, he just doesn't get the whole let's get my team up. It's like Texas OU, it's Ohio State, Michigan. You know, it's
Mhm.
he doesn't really to me, that's one of the things I've been disappointed with. He just has this real nonchalant, blase approach to these big games. Those are the games that you live for. Your team should be ready to go. They should be jacked up. But he just, now I will say, we played the Packers a couple of years ago up there, his first time going back, we dominated them. Our team was flying. They were playing. Now Kellen cost us that game, but he watched him do it.
Well, he
But
also was he was also on the sideline pouting and throwing things and breaking
yeah,
things.
yeah. And so, but that's what you need to see from McCarthy when we start playing these 49ers and these Saints and these kind of games. And
But you're not
we
gonna see that because he doesn't have anybody to be mad at now.
Yeah, and we play the Eagles. We get up for the Eagles. So now I don't know if I'm gonna attribute that to him, but I think our players just naturally are ready to play the Eagles. I don't know if I'm gonna give him any
Ye-
credit.
Yeah, no, that's a Zeke and Dak thing. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
we always get up for the Eagles, but that's the that's our team. Like, that's the Zeke and CD thing. They be trying to dog them out.
and
You know
and
what I'm
let's
saying?
go ahead and put a thumbnail by this. When we play the 49ers, if we're still in the playoff hunt in the division hunt, we need to figure out exactly what he's going to be, what his approach is going to be in that game. How do we show up? Are we going to show up physically, mentally ready to play, or is it just going to be like we're playing Atlanta?
I'm
That's
gonna tell
that's
you
what we're looking for.
the other rivalry that's being born, and it's being born, and it's really here. It's us and the Texans. Houston,
Oh,
Houston is
yeah,
gonna be a good rivalry. They're part of the rivalry teams too
yeah.
uh because of number one, the battle of the state.
That's going to
Number
be a
two,
rivalry game. Yeah,
Micah and CJ Stroud are real good buddies. And then you got Trayvon and Stephon. So this is gonna be a game to get up
yeah.
for. And last year, every year, just about when we play them, they be hanging it in there to the very, very end, and we always pull off a miraculous win. But that ain't the same team that they got this year.
Well,
They
there
got
was some
some good
talk too
team.
about the NFL just making that a year-to-year game too.
They should.
But
I mean, it'd be so fun.
but yeah, just you mentioned that. I'm not sure McCarthy is going to be up for that game. I don't think he gets it.
He doesn't understand.
Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of Texans fans here. It's gonna be a big game. So we're going to just like I said, McCarthy, he's on the clock. He
He
just
he
just
he Zim would tell Trayvon, I want you to follow. I want you to spy your brother. Mike McCarthy would be like, nah, I don't. You can just go play and just play the base defense. He doesn't have the intuition to
yeah.
understand what's going on within the game and in the rivalries and none of that. He doesn't make it personable. To him, it's just business,
Mm-mm.
and he sucks at it. It's
Yeah.
just like he gonna get paid regardless. You know, you can go that extra mile and be all into it if you into it, but if you're not, it's just a paycheck to you. You really don't care. McCarthy is gonna go coach the Panthers next year. If he gets fired, he's not gonna lose no sleep.
Well, the way he's coaching, I had said he would get another job, but the way it's kind of playing out, and it's early, it's game two. He got plenty of time to kind of right the ship, but we're not liking the way it is looking. So let's go ahead and wrap and just talk to our people about what they need to do to help us grow our channel, like the sharing and
And then
um,
subscribing and then
subscribing.
hitting the notification bell because we're about to start going live. We realized that we can go live, so we're gonna end up scheduling a live session probably every Friday, and we're gonna go live. So we're gonna be contacting all of our favorite subscribers and all of our favorite people that we follow, like Star and other our who else we got out there?
Boss
Boss Cowboy,
Cowboy,
um, you
Mark
know,
Holmes.
Mark Holmes, Law Nation. We're gonna be letting them know that we're going live just in case they want to pop in and watch the show, or if any of them want to come up with us, we'll send them the link. So we're new to this, and so we just need the big dogs to help us out, and everybody else too. All of the followers, y'all help us out by subscribing and sharing and hitting the notification bell. So every time we go live, or every time we post a video, you'll get notified and you'll see us. And then I'm learning the game too. So I'm researching and I'm figuring out things to do to get us to where we want to be. You said you had something to say?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Oh, so a lot of things that we got to get doing, and I'm gonna be putting together little shorts of videos. Like I got a lot of plays that I got to figure out the best way to put them on shorts and put them on the channel. So we got a lot of things that we got coming up. So y'all just stay tuned and like, comment, and subscribe. We do check the comments, so y'all make sure y'all comment and then let us know what y'all would want to hear us talk about. If y'all have anything in mind y'all want us to cover, just let us know and we'll cover it. So, y'all stay tuned and that's it for episode 12. Now, what was I gonna say? Now, with my prediction past, I'm not predicting. I don't really want to predict because I just predicted that we gonna beat up on New Orleans and we just got totally demolished. But I will say this. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if the Cowboys come out here and look like a totally different team
Yeah.
come against Baltimore. The defense for sure. I don't think that. I think the defense gonna look way better. But the
Mm-hmm.
offense, it scares me because the personnel is to me is the problem, and I don't know how much other than trading for someone is going to help. Now, Florinor, what my dad said is right. You get Florinor out there, that's going to help a lot. You get you leave Zeke and Rico in the game, that's going to help a lot.
Mm.
But you get Turpin the ball downfield, you get Deuce the ball out in the open, that's going to help a lot. But I just don't have confidence in McCarthy or Schottenheimer that that's going to take place. I just don't have any. I don't have any confidence that we're not gonna go out here in the first game and in the first pass they gonna throw it either gonna be to Schoon or Brooks. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
any. I think that's what's gonna happen because it's just like the Cowboys do this thing to where it's like if you drop a ball, like Brooks, you fell and you dropped the pass, so now you got to make that up. We going to you on the next play. It's just like I don't. I think Brooks had a bad game. They gonna try to emphasize and double down and make him have a good game. That's so I
Yeah.
don't.
So we'll see what's going to happen. That's going to be the fun part of it. Just watching it all happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
tomorrow we'll just come on and talk about the Ravens a little bit,
Yeah.
and just kind of talk about the news of the day and see what's happening there.
All right. So yeah, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Love, peace, and soul. And y'all make sure y'all watch, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.